Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Hope all my young artists are doing well. Getting away to soak up some Arizona sun, staying happy, staying healthy. Excuse my manners. This is my friend, Beans the cat. Say hi, Beans. Now, as you can tell, art class has moved online. So, every week you're going to be seeing different art lessons. I hope these are just as fun as what we had in the classroom. What do you say we go ahead, stop talking, let's get inside and make some art. You ready? Beans is. Today, we are beginning what's called a still life drawing. Step 1. Find some objects around your house. This could be your favorite toy, this could be a stuffed animal. In this case, I'm going to be using fruit. You want to keep the objects simple shapes. And fruit is perfect in this case. You'll see a lot of artists use fruit for still life drawings. Set these up in a position or a composition that is interesting. If you would like, you could always use a lamp for light. I'm using natural light. Then get your paper and pencil ready. Step 2. Begin a light sketch. This means you are just finding out the shapes. You are just doing a light sketch of where everything should belong on your drawing. Remember, this does not need to be perfect the first time. It took me about 2 tries before I found the first sketch that I wanted to use. Where's everything gonna go? Where is that cup, for example, in relationship to the fruit? Just get everything lightly laid out. Now, you don't want to press too hard with your pencil, and it's always okay to use your eraser. But remember, if you press too hard with your pencil, you're going to have some erasing marks. In this step, it doesn't necessarily matter where you start. Maybe look for the larger objects first, and fill in the smaller details. Just have to emphasize again, this is not meant to be perfect. It's a practice. This will help you become a better drawer. If you'd like to include the table behind the objects that you're drawing, you could always include that, but you do not have to. Step 3 is define the shapes and define the shadows. So in this step, you're going to start pressing a little bit harder with your pencil. If there's anything you want to fix now, this is where you're going to want to go ahead and change the shape. Really look, is it going to be a curved line? Is it straight? Is it jagged? Define the shapes of your drawing. Also, don't forget about texture. Here in my drawing, I have some pebbles in that little plant pot, so I'm going to add little dots and circles for the texture. Also, the ridge on the edge of that banana. Is there any texture in the object that you're drawing in your still life that you need to focus on right now?
Now the shadows. Lightly just outline a shape for the shadow. We'll fill it in later. At this point, it's okay to start adding some value. Remember the lights and darks of a drawing. Now I suggest do this in layers. Don't just start pressing incredibly hard. First just do a light shadow. We can always come back and make it a little bit darker. But if you get dark too quickly, it can always be a bit difficult to reverse that. So start lightly, shade. You can always add more layers to make it darker. Final step, add detail. Are there any little designs on the mug, for example, that you're drawing? Are there little dots on the orange? Or if you're drawing an action figure, is there texture that you haven't added yet? Look around. Half of the time you're drawing, your eyes should be on the still life itself. Half the time you're looking at your still life, then looking back at your drawing, and so forth. This is the time when you can start really darkening up some of these shadows. Use your eyes. Really look into that still life. As your drawing is starting to become finished, look at those really small details. Are there any little shadows or highlights maybe that you missed? If it's a highlight, you could use your eraser. If it's a shadow, remember, don't press too hard too fast. But go through and see, does your drawing match what you're looking at? Now that you're finished drawing the objects of your still life, if you're interested, is there anything in the background? Now, what I suggest, if you're going to add any of these things in the background, for example, the windows in my drawing, draw it very, very lightly. Now remember, your still life is your focal point. The focal point, you want to stand out, so that's going to be darker. These are just very light sketches. It doesn't need to look finished. It just adds a little extra detail to really capture that moment that you're looking at what you were drawing. This brings us to the end of our still life drawing. Now, take what you've made, show your family, hang it up on the fridge, send a picture to your grandma, maybe even show your dog. Cannot wait to see what you guys have all made. Tune in next week and we will begin our next art lesson. Take care, everybody.